It is very common for me to say, and it's true, that I've never done this before, or at least never done anything exactly like this. And so you're watching me do something for the first time, or first time I've done it by myself sometimes, like I've had help doing it, or, you know, various versions of that statement. That has never been more true than now. I bought a golf cart. I don't know anything about golf carts.
I know nothing. Nothing.
I've never worked on one before. I've only ever even driven one a few times at a golf course. I'm not even that much of a golfer. I don't really know for sure how they work, but they're just like little cars, right? I mean, it's got four wheels and a motor, and sure. Besides, I live in golf cart country now, so I might as well. The funny thing is, electrical stuff is kind of like my Achilles heel. It's always been a struggle for me. And for anybody that's known me for any length of time, probably would refer to me as an EV hater. And yet here I am, like I wasn't good enough. I bought two of them. Now, this is to emphasize how little I know about these and where that bit me. That cart was purchased to be a donor cart for parts for this one. This one's purple. You can see the body laying over here. And it turns out they're not the same. Now they're the same make and model. They're both a Club Car DS. That one's from the late 80s. This one's from 2002. And that one's a 36 volt. This one's a 48 volt. And they share almost nothing that's useful to me. This one's the cooler of the two. It's got a little bit of a lift on it. It's got a little bit bigger tires on it. It's a 48 volt cart. And it's got all the bells and whistles with, at least that they had in 2002, with headlights and taillights and blinkers. And it's almost street legal. And so I want to get this one running. This one I got from a local guy on Facebook, and he didn't know anything about it. He got it in a trade, and he never did anything with it. Just sat in his yard, and he decided it was just time to get rid of it, or I think maybe his significant other decided it was time to get rid of it. I got a pretty good deal on this one too. I don't know anything about it. He didn't know if it ran. It didn't come with any batteries. So I didn't want to go spend a whole bunch of money on a bunch of batteries for this thing if I didn't know if anything else actually worked. Because if it doesn't, I may not spend the money on it. I might just part it out, or maybe try to resell it. I don't know if I really want to put the money into a new motor, new controller, all that kind of stuff, which by the way, I had to learn over the last couple of weeks what those even were. I found out that you can test these motors by doing a continuity test, and just to see, at least the initial test, to see if anything's broken. And sure enough, it failed a continuity test. So I'm going to try to get this motor out. First, I had to get all the body off. So today, I'm going to show you how to get the body off of this and get down to the motor so you have access to everything. Back kind of the clock up a little bit. Talk about the cart itself, what's wrong with it, what it needs, and then we'll get to taking the body off. But let's take a look at the outside here. It looks like it's got a little bit of a lift kit on it. I don't know what kind or how much, but definitely got bigger tires on it than normal. It has no batteries. I have no idea how the batteries hook up. It's not terrible shape. It does have a major crack right here. You can see that. The windshield is mostly intact, although it does have a nasty crack in the upper section up there. It's got a little bit of a driver's side rake to it. Peek underneath, it looks like left side leaf spring is broken. Just rusted right through. Probably some big fella like me sat too hard on it and broke it. It has lights. I don't know if they work. We'll find out. And it has no seat. So the rear seat is missing, and that board's all rotted. It has the back part, but the bottom seat, it ain't here. It didn't come with one. So I've been trying to piece it together, like not piece the car together, but piece together how this works. And it's really hard to get in there and look around and work. So I'm gonna see if I can get all this off and get down to where the motor is. So I'm gonna go top down here. So let's get the top off. These are all, I don't think these are gonna make it. I can't imagine. I think they're all gonna strip off or break. What are these for up here? Oh, the mirror. Oh yeah, the mirror fell off while I was driving it home. The brackets are all rusty, and the wind whipping through it ripped the mirror off. It's in the back of my truck. I wonder if it would be easier, instead of dealing with that right now, just take it all off from here. Just the whole thing off. What do we got over here? Got some 1/2 inch, looks like, bolts. There's probably a nut on the other side that I don't know if I can get to. I don't know what kind of shape these are in, so I'm not gonna go cranking on them with a impact. Okay, they are unthreading. That's good. That's loose. I feel like I shouldn't have done that one first. Let's get these off. Seatbelt brackets off. I'm not even know seatbelts. Who wears a seatbelt in a golf cart? These bolts are all corroded. We're gonna have to replace those. So let's just get rid of them. Okay, so this should just come off. Ooh. Okay. Now, let's get this seat back off. That appears to have a nut on the bottom. Well, how do you get to that? Under here, there's a nut on the bottom side of this. On that side, I could reach from underneath. We'll see. On this side, I can reach it. I cannot. This just holds sort of the wheel well cover on. And I get that out of the way. So I can pull this down enough to get up in here with this wrench. Okay, that's out. I'm gonna go down here. The leaf spring is cracked, so it's sagging. And this knuckle wants to rotate back in front of this bolt. Okay. I had to jack this up a little bit on using the frame, not onto the suspension, because the leaf spring is broken. And so this side sags quite a bit, and as it sags, the rear knuckle for the leaf spring rotates backwards, and I could not get a socket on that nut down there. So I had to raise the body up and then push the wheel down So it would rotate that knuckle. So let's bring this back down now. We're back on jack stands. The body itself looks like, I see inside, there's 2 bolts in the front. The side, it looks like it's not connected, it just sits in a tray. And the rear is bolted just to this rear frame rail here. All right, let's see if I can get these loose. These are nasty looking. I don't know if they're gonna hold a wrench. What is that front? It's a giant Phillips head. Okay. Oh yeah. They're threading out just fine. The screws are rusted or corroded to the frame. So the nuts came off. The screw won't come out. So let's see if we can break these loose. No. Come on. There it goes. So some of you, you know, guys as old like me, you know this already, but most of these screwdrivers have some kind of hex on them. You can put a wrench on them, give yourself a little bit of torque. Most of you guys already know that, I'm sure. I'm not teaching you anything, but some of you may not know that. You might find it useful someday. So, front's loose. We got the wiring for the charger and the drive, the switch. It's a 2-pronger. It should be a 4-pronger. Yep. All right. Well, good. That makes it easy to remember where they go back to. There's one with 2, one with 3, one with 4. They can only go where they can go. That is disconnected. That is not. I think I have to undo the wiring for it because it goes out that way. Looks like there's a cap that's screwed on there. Yeah. That's even better. Just put these screws back in there. So this one, there's where the charger connects in. There's this plate that screws to it. It's got the 3 connections on it. And there's just 3 screws that holds this. You take those screws out and this just slides out. And now you're separated from the body. So the front is disconnected. Looks like 2 bolts. Here and here. So yeah, 2 bolts up here. Actually look like they're screws. Well, that's fun. Those are probably not going to survive either, although I've said that with every other bolt, and every other bolt has come loose. And that one's coming loose. And that one is not. So it broke loose a little bit, and then now the screw head is just spinning, and there's nothing left of the screw head. Put anything on it. Try to put a vice grip on it. I'll be darned. It's holding. Just about to the end and it snapped off. That's okay. It's out. Like I said, I'm gonna replace them all anyway. There's lights in the back. So those are probably still wired in. We should take those out and see how they're wired in. The wiring harness, yep. Why don't you come loose? I'll fly that screwdriver. There. Okay, lights are out. Everything's disconnected. Yep. Okay. This is our bones. Well, somebody hit this like down or hit something hard. There's a shock over here. There's not one over here. There's not even a bracket. The shock brackets broke right off. So we'll have to figure something out. I have not yet learned to weld aluminum, but maybe it's time to start. So this leaf spring right here is broken, right there. It looks like somebody tried to patch it. It's got some welded like stock steel on there. That didn't work. Shocking. There's a regular like hydraulic shock over here in addition to the leaf spring, and there would be one over here too, but there's no bracket. This is just floating in the air. This is all welded together, so that broke off and they lost the shock, which is probably what ended up damaging the leaf spring, or maybe that all happened at one time. And you know, it'll ride funny, but it'll work with just the leaf springs. Maybe they tried to fix that. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'll get to that later. It doesn't really matter if I can't get the thing to run. I think we're gonna stop here. The next video will be getting that motor out onto the bench, torn apart, repaired, put back in. That's a lengthy process, and this is gonna make this video way too long. So I'll do that in the next video. So we got the rear end off and torn down to get the motor out. And we didn't do the front yet. I'll still have to do that coming up here because I got to repair that corner. Comment down below. Let me know what you think we should do with this cart. It's kind of a cool cart. The nice thing about these club cars, they're all aluminum. At least the frames are all aluminum, so they don't rust. There's some little corrosion here and there, and obviously you've got that one that's broken, but that's relatively easy to clean up. It's a pretty good base for a fun little project. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. It obviously needs some suspension work. It's got that broken leaf spring. It needs some body work, and needs maybe a new windshield. Maybe not. I don't know how often I'll actually use that windshield. I may just keep the lower level and just keep it folded down and not really care about it. It doesn't have any batteries, so it's ripe for a lithium upgrade, maybe. I don't have any cores to turn in anyway, so if I got to buy something fresh and spend a bunch of money on batteries, I might as well buy the lithium ones. So maybe that, which will take some fabrication, which could be an interesting process as well. So let me know what you think I should do. Give me any suggestions, what you'd like to see. This isn't really, like, I'm not really a cart guy, you know, like I'm a car guy, but I'm also a tinkerer. So I like working on just about anything. And if it's got four wheels and moves, I like to play with them. I like to work on them. And honestly, I kind of like to make them go faster. So I might do something like that too. The yellow one that was over there, that one's just going to be a flip. We're going to do some work on that one. I'll have some content on that one coming up here pretty soon. It's in decent shape. It just needs a little bit of work and some body work and probably some paint. So let me know. Hope this was helpful for you. If you're interested in this sort of thing, hit that bell down below and make sure you get notified when more stuff's coming. I've got a lot of different stuff we're working on around here. So some cart content, some car content. Appreciate you guys very much, and we'll see you next time.